from Learn English ASAP, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss one of my favorite topics, and that is cooking and eating. This is a topic that many of my students request and enjoy, and I hope that you will too. So let's look at 10 useful cooking terms that you can use when speaking about cooking in English. The first term I want to look at is to chop. To chop is to use a knife to cut things into small pieces. You can chop onions, or more specifically, you can finely chop onions if you're going to chop them into small pieces. A word that is similar to this is to dice, which means to cut things into squares. You can dice a piece of meat, or you can dice peppers or onions. The second term I want to look at is to brown. This means to partially cook something until it gets a brown color. You can brown onions and you can brown meat, and it is a very important part of getting flavor into food. The third term I want to look at is to fry. To fry is to cook something in oil or in another kind of fat like butter, and you often use a frying pan to fry things in. You fry things when you want them to be crispy and brown. Fried food is delicious, but unfortunately not very healthy. Term 4 is to boil. When you boil something, you cook it in very hot water, and it's common to boil potatoes, pasta, and eggs. I'm a big fan of pasta. I don't know about you. Term number 5 is to bake. When you bake something, you cook it in the bottom part of the oven as opposed to on top where you fry and boil things. We also use the word to bake to talk about cakes and bread. Term number 6 is to season. When you season something, you add salt and pepper or other herbs and spices to intensify the flavor. You'll often see in a recipe season to taste, which means that you must add as much seasoning as you like by tasting the food. Term number 7 is to grill something. When you grill something, you usually grill it or cook it on direct heat or flames. So for example, you would grill meat on a barbecue, but you can also grill food in your oven where you put it underneath the element in the top of the oven. Do you like to barbecue? Is there something typical that you eat when you barbecue in your country? Term 8 is to reduce. When you reduce something, you cook it for a long time so that the liquid evaporates. And it usually means that the flavor becomes much more intense as well. You can reduce things like soups or stock or even sauces. Term number 9 is to sweat. This may seem like a strange expression to use when speaking about cooking, but it is quite often used. When you sweat something, you cook it in a low heat in some oil until the liquid comes out. And it is also a very important part of getting flavor into food. You will often sweat vegetables in order to get a more intense flavor from them. Term 10 is to poach. When you poach something, you cook it in liquid, much like boiling, but usually at a lower temperature. Something that is a little bit different is a poached egg. When you poach an egg, you crack the egg into boiling water. And it's quite different to a boiled egg, which is when you put the egg whole into boiling water. Do you enjoy cooking? What are your favorite recipes? I would love to hear about them. Please comment below. You can also sign up to my mailing list, and by signing up, you can get lots of useful English vocabulary PDFs. And don't forget to subscribe for more Learn English ASAP videos. See you soon. Bye-bye.